in an absolutely monster game, game number 1. So well-warranted third ban for Cambodia.
So does Rafa go focus or alpha? Or does Saudi Arabia still put the focus on lyrics? Call it an A.
Yeah. Alpha's gone, obvious, alpha. Yeah. You just most out to that. I think surprising Russia, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Cambodia decides to pick the Eve at the moment they see something like a Hilda already on the other side.
My big question for Rafa is what you have to play. Because Nolan's gone, Hayabusa's gone.
She's gone.
And the only hero she's picked up other than that is Suyo, Fanny.
Oh, it's not doing very good option too. Oh, the one from the dot.
That's a phase 2 ban from game 1.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. Did we get up early?
They're trying to turn off Cambodia from the idea of making Eve now.
Because I'm pretty sure Cambodia felt the sting of that Eve.
Yeah.
Looking at the team fight from game 1, the Eve compromised almost everything they wanted to do.
Yep.
If you, if any, wasn't even in range for that heavy crossbow, forget about it. And that's what ruined a lot of what Cambodia did. There's the Aurora. This is the box they chose. This is the bet they're going to make it live in.
They could still go down the same route. Still alpha high loss, the priorities for Cambodia. Now it's Saudi Arabia thinking, should we still leave?
But this is the big change, right? This is what you wanted to see in the first game.
We wanted to see it in the later half, because that's where it was spelled out. Now it seems like Cambodia is overcommitting to the high loss, and all the more Saudi Arabia can actually answer. But is that what they want to do? Are they saying, hey, bring out the carry early now? If that's what you want to do, that's how you want to answer this high loss.
You go Harris, Eve, maybe even surprising not play the Eve to go Vexana if they want to. I don't know, something about the Saudi Arabian lineups. Okay, no. Still Moskov. And there it is.
That's a 1-2 right there.
Yeah.
Making up the counter and the problem.
So now Cambodia has not a lot of picks that can play them map. They're probably just going to get out macroed right now. Because Cambodia's first two are very teamfight heavy. It's clear cut what you want to do. If they want to match that, but it's still going to absolutely suck for the hero that I'm going to suggest. You go Claude, but I mean, that's rough, buddy. They're going to have to win around like skirmishes, engages. Hopefully that they can actually invade. First 3 picks of Saudi Arabia was great.
Okay, it makes sense now. I mean, technically what Cambodia have right now is quite good, right? Against the Fanny, you have the Aurora that has a little bit of a second life. You have the Hylos with the single target, and the Hilda to go in for aggressive invades into the enemy jungle that the Fanny can be susceptible towards.
Yeah, and for sure that's probably going to be a Rome Hilda again.
Yeah, Rome Hilda, XP, Hylos, going up against what might be the Gatot. So that means Saudi is still hiding what pick is going to be playing.
What are the options for Yui Fendi though? I'm still thinking about it.
Against that Moscow.
Because her Moscow's taken out, which was our safest bet against the Fanny in the middle lane.
I hope you don't see a Bruno, but taking out Eve other than bringing respect might actually be just that. Again, even though you have an assassin on the other side, I still am a believer of you want to track down the Fanny every time she enters, you pick Matrix. Every time you enter, as long as the Matrix gets a farm, she has her item, the Fanny will suffer damage.
Yeah, one of the few times Wesker might have to matter.
Yeah, it's not Wesker. Heck, even the Beer does so well with already, like, you force the Fanny down to like 50%, and she's like, do I still really want to game a living? Yeah, I'm gonna go out.
Especially when you get that BOD on.
Yeah.
And it looks like Saudi's attacking the jungle. We still do not know what the Tagami will be playing. Still the Alpha is left out there.
We did see a Frederick earlier.
Oh.
Does Cambodia have the Frederick or the Bane? Both are solid right now.
Cambodia has Lancelot, Fredrin, Roxy Alpha, Hayabusa, Ling, and Fanny.
The problem with that is if they go Fredrin, their mage isn't built for that. He's more control than he is damage. And that might come back to haunt them.
Go Bane?
They go Bane, yeah, they don't have to worry about the E.
They have the front line to help.
Oh, that might actually pop up, yeah. That might be Bane or...
The only fear for Tagami is that Gatot, but who follows up after the Gatot?
No, but the Valentina would be available for KSA if ever that's the case.
But again, it depends. It depends on this last man from KSA, right? They could potentially not even ban out the Alpha, and the Alpha still remains the choice for Cambodia to pick up the jungle.
But if that happens, a lot is on Yui Fendi again. So all the more the pressure is on the young Cambodian gold laner. It's the same story as game 1, so she has to carry that weight going into this match point. Again, this is elimination point.
I wonder how the Brody is against the Moscow in the lane. Because that's all I can think of against the Fanny.
I think it does okay. She's not a gold lane specialist, but I've played a few Brody in my day, so...
Take away the Harris, too. Just go Bea, please. Beatrix out of everyone should do really good. Yeah, if not in the laning, at least just make sure you can cross into that. You go Bea, you'll be lacking magic somewhat, because Aurora and Hylos are the only thing that you see in terms of magic damage output. Beatrix is still a Beatrix in terms of damage. You'll just expect that the Fanny's gonna build one defensive item that might help mitigate the damage, but that's the pick early.
Yeah, comfort. Comfort.
Yeah, that's the one that I was hoping that they wouldn't.
It's all spelled out. It's basically protect the Bruno up until you can't anymore. Still, we don't know what Tagami's playing. Could be another solid damage source. We established that the Aurora is more utility. Can't rely on her for burst.
Let's circle back to the final 2 picks for Saudi Arabia, though. We're supposedly lacking either EXP Rome and, of course, their mid laner.
There's not a lot of backline actors. Oh, they can still go Julian for Cambodia.
Oh, jungle, yeah.
Yeah. Vixana, what we called earlier, CC.
Because there's no burst.
Yeah.
The damage profile dictates it again.
Maybe a vintage CC or jungle. That's tough.
You want a Julian?
I think the Vexana's solid against the Hylos as well.
Yeah. And at this point, you just go for Julian, hope you can snowball, get that magic damage on you, because it literally cannot be another physical that might take time. You need a fast clearing, fast rotating, quick scaling jungler.
Oh.
Better for the macro. Definitely protects you, Fendi, for when it matters.
Debut YSS.
When was the last time?
I don't know. It's been a long minute.
It's been a long minute. It's been an hour maybe in your time. Nice. So we're going to get into the land of dawn, ladies and gentlemen. Saudi Arabia with match point 1-0 in a best of 3. And unlike the first match we saw, this is an elimination match. If you lose here, if Cambodia loses here, they're out of the tournament. There's no more chances. This is already their second chance. And let's see, for Tagami, at least when it comes to clearing, she's okay. Like Yisun Chin, I've tried it myself as well. Yisun Chin isn't bad when it comes to clearing. As long as you get your passive back and forth, you do quite well in the jungle.
It's weird because now that we have a Suyo, like in the game, it almost feels like YSS is like this discount Suyo in a way.
Yeah.
Obviously,
especially with the arrow.
Especially with the arrow, but you have the advantage of at least you can provide vision to your team. A lot of this early aggression already unbreakable. There's the revitalizes both sides of the map. They're going to actually go down a little bit. No one falling. That's what we expect when you have these revitalized and these tanky members for both sides. But you know, going back to it, I'm really wondering how this is going to work this time around for Tagami. Obviously, she's a very skilled player, but she's picking up a hero that has somewhat fallen out of the current meta, and she's got to make it work.
It's a very, very tough hero to pull off, but if we're talking about the side lane control of Saudi Arabia, I understand why they went for the Yisun Shin. The Mountain Shocker is the best utility tool in the game. It's a global vision tool, technically, right? So if they were having problems just controlling the side waves, and we saw towards the end of game number 1 where they got the super mini wave in the bottom lane after taking the base turret, yeah, I would see it, but Rafa
not going to land that cable. She's going for Yui. Yui finally going down. First blood in the hands once again for Rafa here. Showcasing just how strong she is on these assassin junglers. Really good start for them.
We already saw how good Rafa can be on a Fanny. Now it's time for Tagami to show the world how good she is on the Yisun Shin. As expected, though, the Fanny will be the one leading at the start of the game here. It'll really be about getting into the mid-game for me for the Cambodia's composition, right? They have Uwe, they have Navi, and they also have Moshi, who can try to hold on in the early game, but it all comes down to the 2 marksmen. These beefy frontliners in the mid-game will kind of struggle, I would say, to go up against a lot of the burst, a lot of the consistent damage that's here, because that last pick CC was definitely an X-Factor pick, right? It was so good. They finally have someone else that can actually deal with the frontliners. So Livin doesn't really need to fully care about that, and Lunar can just continue to farm. Doesn't need to participate in the fights too early on. They can always just rely on CC when it comes to these big, chunky boys. So let's see. Turtle number 2, or turtle number 1 rather, contested. Tagami on it.
Tagami going to start it up. Lyrics going over to the side. Mountain Shocker to provide that vision we were talking about. They're going to go in for the retribution battle. Tagami will secure the turtle. Spirit of Destruction going to land too. Not sure if they follow it up. No one falling just yet. Just forced out of here. Yui trying to get away. Does have that speed boost. Now Rafa won't be able to follow through. So ultimately you have an objective secured for Cambodia.
Good control from Tagami and Cambodia. Tagami was just on it, obviously solid retribution, but the rest of the team zoning Saudi Arabia so well there in the turtle fight. Definitely shows you that for now, Lyrics is actually kind of struggling to go up against the Yisun Shin. I think the job desk here has got to be clearer for Saudi Arabia, right? For Lyrics, do you want to shred down the front line and play it front to back for your team, or do you want to be the one joining in the back line and actually targeting Tagami and Yui Fendi? Because I think for the CC, at least in the early game, you would have more success just going and chunking the frontliners over going into the back line.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You know, especially to an extent you could, but you always have to remember that we've seen this now quite a few times where you have double revitalize for a team. And so even if Lyrics decides to jump in, you know that maybe the job is just to get one of those down, or maybe get enough of that attention towards you. Then you can allow, you know, that jump in from Pink maybe, or even an eternal guard knockup to help set things up. I think Lyrics is a little more, can be a little more creative than what she showed us in the previous game when she was the Phoveus, because of just how the CC plays into, you know, this matchup specifically against Cambodia. The other thing too, and maybe this was part of the plan where, you know, because we don't see the YSS too often, maybe this was just that counterplay of, well, at least I can get vision for my team with the Mountain Shocker. They're actually going to force Rafa off the orange buff. They're still going to fight for it though. Again, Revitalize being used up by Yui. There's the jump. Avatar the Guardian, you're going to be able to find two. Navi could be in trouble. She's still got the passive. Rafa will jump in, but she won't be able to get a kill. Tagami still alive for a little bit longer until she finally goes down. Trading happened already, 1-for-1. Rafa jumping back in. She's a little bit low on health, so she doesn't want to fully commit. So the 1-for-1 trade for both teams.
Lunar is in the mid lane though. Looking to get a few more shots down. Well played to Saudi Arabia. Despite being invaded, despite losing a lot of HP on Rafa early, they were able to make what the best out of that situation, I would say. Finally getting a kill onto Tagami that will definitely slow down a bit of that mid-game power spike that is to come for Cambodia here. And the fact that they pushed in mid, getting a few shots there, was also solid. Now I think they just gotta keep on scouting Uwe. But we can already see that power spike for the Eastern Shin, right? The Mountain Shocker is starting to hurt.
Yep.
It is a great poke tool, but even more so than just being a poke tool, it's better for vision. As long as you know where the Fanny is, you really don't have to, you know, scout in. Uwe just can always match that movement from her. And you can see it already. Uwe just controlling the bottom side, knowing that she was last seen in the purple buff. This should be easily controlled by Cambodia to set up for the next neutral objective. And Tagami is 2 levels ahead of Rafa on the Eastern Shin. The farming power of the Eastern Shin really showing here in game number 2.
It's really showing how strong that still can be, especially depending on the draft that you bring to the table. And Tagami hasn't had to worry about too much. Mostly it's just, providing that vision. She's going to start up the turtle here. And you have right on the whims, Rafa just waiting patiently. Lyrics, once again, looking for the same angle as last time. Moshi will actually be the one to secure the turtle, even though the retribution used up by Tagami. So there you go, Cambodia really locking in on objectives, and they don't have to fight if they don't want to. Part of it is just play that waiting game and let them scale up the way they need to.
And if you play the scaling game, it'll definitely be very good for Cambodia. Not too good for Saudi Arabia, I would say. Conceal from Pink, but there's no real catch potential where they got to catch at least now in the game. You go in with the AOG, and I think you probably might be the one punished. Bottom lane turret traded for the top tier 1. Yui Fendi is doing a good job of scaling as well. Would love to see what Yui Fendi already has in the inventory right now. If it's a 2-item power spike already, Berserkers plus Haas Claws, or if she already has the 3. Because if she does have the 3, Pink, definitely just Pink, won't be able to take that damage. Melphic Roar should be all she needs on top of the Berserker's Fury and the Haas Claws to deal with Pink, especially with the Revitalize. Full stacks in the team fight, Saudi Arabia might just be melted down completely. And Tagami, I wonder what her items are. She already has the War Axe, for sure, right?
Yeah, like what is a YSS build nowadays, you know?
Endless Battle, War Axe, BOD is literally the same build. I don't think there's any
hasn't changed much
for the items. But yeah, if she gets the 3 items too, it'll be massive.
Look at
Purple
that.
buff, vision again. Rafa will red it though.
Yeah, Rafa secures that, but you know, you're mentioning that Mount Shocker is enough. And I think that's why you see kind of a relatively low action game. Not only the fact that you just have so much healing on both sides and then double revitalize for Cambodia, but just because, like I said, Cambodia doesn't have to fight. If they don't want to take the fights against anyone from Saudi Arabia, that's fine. Yui Fendi, though, might be forcing one herself, trying to go over. That spear's going to land, too. Unfortunately, couldn't get through that wall with a slide tackle. And so she goes down, so Saudi Arabia will pick up a kill. They'll force these fights because they know Cambodia's playing a little bit passive for now. Down in the mid lane, they're going to go for the taunt. They get the Unbreakable off, the passive is there. Glorious Pathway dropped down to Tagami, looking to see if she should join the fight. Lyrics takes a couple shots, the Eternal Guard won't land, but they got Navi in the exchange.
Oh man, this is a bad trade for Cambodia here. Lunar is getting all that space to just free farm. I'm surprised she didn't actually go for the turret tier 2 up top. Rafa though.
Rafa might jump in. She sees Tagami. Might try to do a little bit of damage in the mid lane though. Yui takes some herself and they back off once again. They disengage. And you're seeing the preview of Yui Fendi's damage. Like she's there, right? She has quite a bit of damage already, especially when she gets that stack. So now you're looking into this, you know, so far so good for Cambodia objectively, but can they go into a full team fight for this Lord? taunt on Moshi. Moshi gets thrown to the wall. She tries to escape with the glorious pathway, but it's just too much damage coming through. So now with a numbers advantage here for Saudi Arabia, how did they play it? But they're so low in some of the health bars.
Those are the War Axe for the Fanny, by the way. Rafa will be going for the sustained build on this Fanny, so a longer skirmish will definitely help her out a lot with the new changes to the energy. You can actually stay in the team fights a lot longer with the cable, so I like how Saudi Arabia at least have adapted to the situation, right? They notice, all right, we have Lyrics CC in the mid game as well. We should be able to actually shred down these tanky boys, the frontliners here. And that's what they do. Rafa?
Rafa, look at the damage. Nabi couldn't even withstand that combo as she goes down. And so even though earlier on Rafa was down in terms of level, she's doing good, turning things around now. The fight for the space around this Lord, they're just going for it. AOG drop down, multiple members really low as they fall for Cambodia. Moshi can't get away. Yui Fendi will be able to pick up the kill on the backside, and Rafa shows up. Yui Fendi fending for herself, doesn't take the spear right under the turret. And Tagami will charge up, so a good stand there. Coming out from Cambodia, oh, Rafa gets away with 1 HP.
Is the Eastern Shin versus the Fanny. You can already see it there. Oh man, super hype gameplay for Cambodia with Tagami on the Eastern Shin. That was super, super close. 5.4k only for the Fanny, so it's still a big lead when it comes to just gold. Disparity for Tagami. Rafa unable to get the angle to go for Yui Fendi, and now she has the Milfic gun. So we were expecting maybe Milfic Roar, Milfic gun, whatever it is, that's the 3-item power specs that you need on the Bruno. And now with the extended range, you're going to deal so much more damage. You have so much range, so you can actually target down Lunar and live in these skirmishes. Let's see. Cambodia still have control despite losing some of the last few team fights. Their frontliners, as long as they stay intact, should be able to burst this down.
They're going to go for it. They saw Lyrics up top. They might force a fight. Tagami gets the Lord. They still might go for it a little bit further. Lyrics joining the fight, but they just disengage with that. So interesting. Saudi Arabia, AOG, whoa, Pink jumping on in. Not sure if that's exactly what they wanted to do. It looked like they wanted to disengage, and then she jumps in with Avatar of the Guardian. But good decisive play from Cambodia when they saw Lyrics up top towards that minion wave. They're just like, you know what? Let's just go for the Lord.
Just go for the Lord. Just go for, you know, the decisive play onto the mutual objective again, because this composition is really good for that.
Whoa.
Breeze up top.
Bunch of damage to Lyrics. Popping the Vengeance. We're trying to hold on to this tier 2. Look at the mid lane too. Jungle battle. Looks like the 1v1. This time we'll go to Rafa. Finally takes out Tagami, but they still have a lore to deal with. Now pushing into this bottom wave. The rest of the team in Cambodia will show up to see if they can push any further, even in the tier 2 in the mid.
So it's still a problem, right? Despite the fact that we were talking about how the Eastern Shin could work, the Mountain Shocker could reveal a lot of, you know, everybody around the map. The Vision game will be massive. Good taunt over.
Nice use of the taunt. AOG is actually going to land on Moshi. Glorious pathway able to disengage, and now Lyrics jumping on the backside. Trying to focus on Yui Fendi. Takes a ton of damage herself as she's gone, and now Rafa shows up. But she can't look at the angle she was looking for, so Lyrics goes down. It was a good attempt from Saudi Arabia again, but ultimately, Cambodia wins that one.
A bit disconnected in the initiation and the chase there. For Cambodia, it was just also playing into these very, very small areas where the Frigid Glacier gets immense value. Tagami, though, let's go back on that. It's still a big problem for her. The fact that the Fanny, if you are caught in like one of these big portions of the map where the Fanny can get those cables in, you will be assassinated. You're still a marksman. It doesn't matter if you're a War Axe. It doesn't matter if you're half fighter. This can still be, you know, a game-changing Fanny pickoff one way or another in the late game.
Yeah.
If you get picked off, the death timer will be quite massive. The duration on that is going to be big. So I would say for Saudi Arabia, play in for Lunar and Rafa. Rafa trying to go for picks, Lunar trying to go for turrets in the side lane. Let Cambodia clump up together. Let them have that win over there, because if they just go and clump up together as well up against Cambodia and they go into that front to back, I don't know how they're going to deal with it. Even if they dive into the back line, late game, there's so many ways for Cambodia to already deal with that. Win of Nature done for Yui Fendi.
Yep.
That'll stop a lot of the threat that Rafa can actually put down in the fights.
Not even just Rafa, but a lot of times we've seen Lyrics jump in, you know, towards Yui Fendi, and she's just at a point now where she's locked and loaded. She's got some of the defensive items that she needs to, so she's fine, you know. And here, this might be the initiation. Jump in with the Avatar of the Guardian. Moshi in trouble. Glorious pathway already dropped down. Frigid Glacier will be the fight too as Pink goes down in the exchange, and Yui Fendi able to dodge that Spirit of Destruction. So now the 1-for-1 mid lane still breaking out a little bit further. But so far, pink for Moshi. Lord is up, and Cambodia will start this one up.
They went for the pickoff strat, like we said earlier. They need to rely on the chaos, but Cambodia grouped up a bit too fast, and now Lord will just be blitzed down.
So quick. Rafa might be going for a kill here. Yui Fendi pops the Wind of Nature. She's going to be fine. Lunar in trouble, though. Will be able to get away, but can't escape fully. Now Nabi in trouble. She still has the passive. Lyrics in the exchange. Frigid Glacier comes down. A double for Nabi. What a pickup for Cambodia.
2 for 0 on top of it, an evolved Lord. No purple buff for Rafa either. Everything just turning around for Cambodia here, as that's a Malefic Roar for Tagami. The Malefic gun in the Wind of Nature. The Wind of Nature really saving Yui Fendi in the earlier skirmish. That was a big bait. The Antiquirus already built up for Rafa, but at this point of the game, I don't think the Antiquirus was actually the best item to get. There's no real, ability damage. Most of the damage will be coming through from Yui Fendi and Tagami, which is going to be basic attacks, but let's see.
Livin push.
Trying to defend.
Trying to defend here. Mount Chakra already down. Livin so low. She's taken out by Tagami. And they get dropped down. They're still going to be pushing forward. Nabi only one down. They'd still get the turret finally with a 2-for-1 trade. Lord still up. There's a good wave pushing up top, but the Lord jumps into the turret. Topside turret going to be worked on. They should be able to clear this out. They might lose the turret, but right now, Saudi Arabia staying into this game. Yui Fendi also still front side. Immortality picked up by Yui. Rafa jumps in. They're trying to clear this as best they can. Lyrics just gone, deleted, and now the base is actually going to be worked on. They're trying to stay in the game. Rafa will be able to clear some out, but the waves are pushing in, and it looks like Cambodia will take it to a game 3.
The equalization from Cambodia 1-1. After all the stream matches, nice. So I thought we would never see the day where we can actually get a full series, but day one of the playoffs, it's already different. Cambodia able to go with their pocket pick, a cheese strat. You could say it's a cheese strat. We haven't seen Easton Shin in what looks to be years. And we finally